To call the meeting to order. Janelle, please note everyone is here. Tammy is attending remotely. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
First item, do we have any additions to the agenda? Not? Approve the agenda first?
Session listed, or are you going to go?
Yep, it's on there now. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The first item on the agenda is a closed session due to Minnesota statute 13D.05 subsection 3. We need to have an attorney-client privilege discussion regarding the window settlement. So let's motion to adjourn to enter closed session.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got here early for this?
Should be quick. Okay, we'll call the meeting back in order.
So moved.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Next up are committee reports. Policy,
Yes, we met last week and we reviewed, I think, close to 20 policies. We're trying to get caught up with some new ones and also get back on a schedule, so we are meeting the state recommendations for how often policies are to be reviewed.
thank you. Southwest Metro,
We had our meeting last Tuesday, and at that meeting, we had information given to us about a program that involves technical education for students, and this presentation was actually done by students who were participants in the program, and they really expressed a great appreciation for sponsoring this program and the help that it's given them to stay in school and to stay on track and be geared towards occupations that will be available for them in the near future. We also approved a foundation grant from the Southwest Metro Foundation. We had an update on Meet and Confer. And we also talked about joining what they call is an innovation zone project. And that is something that the Minnesota Education Department has approved, and it involves districts getting together and working on innovative types of programs that would help students in ways that are not being done at this current time, some type of innovation in education. And we heard a report given to us by Farmington, who is involved in this innovation zone project, and we will be hopefully getting one set up for ourselves in the Southwest Metro Co-op as well. And we had a request for an unpaid leave, which we denied. And then we approved a contract with Educators Benefit Consultants for affordable care, a tracking system. And this is to help us keep our costs of insurance in line and under control. And that took care of it.
thank you. CPAC,
CPAC did not meet, but the parents had an opportunity to participate in a program in Prior Lake that involved experts in the field of special needs, and it had presenters from various occupations, pediatricians, counselors, various people that specialize in working with parents and their students who have special needs. and it was held in Prior Lake during the first week in February. So that was in lieu of a CPAC meeting that we would normally have in February.
Thank you. Community ed?
Well, first of all, lacrosse is picking up steam, so we're going to hear a lot about that. Next brochure will be mailed out on April 1st. There seems to be more requests from the New Market area. They want archery over there, and they want yoga on the beach and horseback riding and a few other things. I just went to a session with the New Prague Sportsman's Club, and they put on a fishing clinic, and it was just amazing. There were so many kids in that gym downstairs here, and they all paid attention, and they all participated, and it's probably one of the best sessions that community ed has, and so they should be commended for that. I have a couple of other items. The winter season is almost over, so if anybody hasn't seen our teams, they should get out and watch them. We have two teachers who happen to be two New Prague students, former students, who just had a baby, a boy, Dan Wagner and his wife, and so that doesn't happen very often. I think they should be commended for that. And then if you could give a little report on this EDGE, I didn't quite understand that from the meeting the other day.
EDGE is a program for youth that they're going to bring here to community ed. It's going to be no cost to the district, and it's going to involve activities that the youth, I think it's grades 6 through 8, middle school age, that they can, it's going to be in the brochure, upcoming brochure, and there are just going to be activities that they can do, and it's going to be a separate entity, but it's something that the youth can get involved in if they want to do. There's day outings that they have, and I believe it's going to start this summer. Is that correct?
And it's out of Burnsville.
Yes.
And Lakeville is doing it right now, too.
Lakeville is currently doing it, yes. That's right.
So do they do programs here, or do the kids travel somewhere?
They'll travel, so there's going to be the location. I think they come to pick them up. Actually, I don't know if all the details are worked out yet.
Lost. What, I didn't catch your question.
The details, I don't know if all the details are worked out yet as far as if a bus is going to be coming here to pick them up.
I don't think that's been decided yet.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It's new, so we're going to try it, I think, for the summer. Is that right?
Right, thank you. Next, our superintendent updates.
Yeah, I'm going to do good news first, and then I'll do an update here. Good news being, well, first of all, this past Sunday, yesterday actually, went to the band panorama. We had 526 kids in our band program right now, 5th grade all the way up through senior high, and the place was absolutely packed, and it was a great performance. It was just very impressive. I know we had a guest conductor, and he mentioned not many communities can pull this off, and so I just want to say thanks to our band instructors for doing a great job getting this organized, and I think it's great public relations for not just the band program, but our entire school district. Some other things with good news, you might have seen gymnastics and wrestling both got runner-up in the section, very close getting to state as a team. In wrestling, actually, we tied with Scott West and went down to the 3rd tiebreaker. And gymnastics had a great showing, too, and Brianna Allenson finished in the top 10 as an individual this past weekend, too. We do have 4 wrestlers going to state. They all won their section individual this past weekend. Chase Logelin, James Berg, Griffin Perriott, and Nick Knutson all won their section championship, like I said, and will be wrestling at the state tournament at the Excel Energy Center this Friday and Saturday. So we want to wish them and the very best. Also, we've got boys hockey playing in the section championship on Wednesday.
at 7 o'clock down in Rochester. They will be playing Northfield. So things are going to be an exciting night that night. We also have boys basketball starting the first round of sections. They've had a great year. I think they were last ranked 10th in the state. And then girls basketball just keeps winning. They're ranked 3rd in the state right now, and they're finishing their season. So a lot of good things happening on the activities end, keeping Mr. Skogerbo and his assistant Lynn Swigert very busy. But hopefully we can get some teams into the state tournament this year, but it's been just an awesome winter season. As far as updates, I just want to, one thing that's taking place tomorrow is kindergarten registration. So at all 3 of our elementaries, from 5:30 to 7:30. Actually, Eagleview starts at 5:15, and it'll be got great interest to see what our enrollment, what happens with our enrollment at that age. But we've got Janelle, for example, will be at Falcon Ridge. Sean Brandt will be at a school because we're doing online registration now. So this is a big change for our registration process, and it's keeping Janelle quite busy right now. But we know in the long run it's going to work out great. The other thing what I want to do is just an update and refer to the screen here is just I want to go over our communication plan. And we want to make sure as a district that we get the facts out there, the information, that any type of question, for example, that comes to the school board, you can refer them to, or anyone that has any interest in the referendum can go and get what the facts information are. So I'm going to explain how that communication plan is going to work and sort of our timeline on that. First site here, I'm going to just talk about Information Central. So our goal is by next Monday, March 2nd, on our website, we'll have all the facts and information about the bond referendum. The what, which means the content of it, why we're doing it, and how much the referendum is for, and when it's going to take place. So basically we'll be able to answer those things there. The informational materials, well, one of the things we'll have also as a hard copy, and also that will be on the website, is just a one-page fact sheet. So just something very simple, so give people a good understanding of the referendum. We'll also have probably a pretty detailed list of questions and answers, things that we've already heard or from past referendums or just information that we keep hearing. So we'll have a question, and that's something that we can add on to it in the weeks ahead too if people have questions. And we're not going to think of every possible question, but I think that'll be a very important source of information for our residents. We'll also have a video put together. Again, that will explain the referendum and that people can see. And then finally, too, on the website will be an email and phone hotline. So if people have questions, maybe they're still unsure about some of the things that we have on the website, or maybe we're missing something, that they have a number to call or an email to send, and then we can get back to them right away too.
And our goal on the question thing is for people to send them in, but for all the responses to be posted to the website. So we won't be, we'll be responding saying we've answered your question, but we hope to have everything posted on the website so people can refer to it to see if their question is already answered on there.
Can the video be seen online?
Yes, yep, that will be online. And I'll talk about that too when I do presentations. And that's the next slide here, informational presentations. The first thing, employee groups, but all my presentations will probably start out with the video. So besides having it on the website, when I present to a group, we'll probably have that onto a sort of an introduction. But the first 2 weeks, I've got meetings with every employee group, every building. So I'll be doing that the first 2 weeks in March. And then Janelle right now is making phone calls and making up a schedule right now for me to present for community groups. And I'll say this right now too is if you haven't been contacted, you have a community group, we'd love to hear from you. Just call the district office or email us, and we'll set up a time for a presentation. So we're not going to be able to think of every single community group, but the ones we know we're contacting right now. So I'd encourage any group from the communities, Elko, Newmarket, Lonsdale, New Prague, or anywhere in between to contact us, and we'll be more than happy to present to your group. And then finally, we've scheduled open public meetings. Right now, we have it at Elko, Newmarket, a night in March, and then we've got 2 meetings here at the CEC. And one of the things that we're going to do here on our open meetings here at the beginning of the meeting is do a tour of the CEC so people can see what it looks like and what things need to be done here and just the condition of the buildings.
How about a tour of the facility that we want to demolish? Are we going to?
Yep, that's part, oh yes, that's part of the CEC, yes. Yep, and that's a very important part because I think if, like our task force, I think it really opens their eyes when we gave the tour of the CEC here, especially 1923 portion. They got a good understanding about the amount of repair and work that needs to be done with the HVAC system to keep this this part of the building going, and just why it's not viable to keep the other part of the building going. So I'm open right now. School board members, if you have any questions or comments, or we can discuss anything right now in the process. Do you have any questions on the process or the timeline?
Just want to comment, I think the timeline looks very good. I think what you've presented as far as the methods and the format looks very appropriate as well.
I think as board members, if you get any questions in the next week, maybe just let us know what the questions are, but tell them we hope to have all that posted online by next week.
Yep.
Are you going to some of the PAC meetings? I
Yep.
assume,
Oh,
too?
yeah. That's part of the community groups.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that will be, all the PACs, and you'll be contacted too. So obviously, those that represent the schools, you'll be getting. I know it's on your calendar anyway, but I know we had to move
I think
a couple.
you're changing some of
yeah,
them.
we're changing some of the PAC meetings right now too to a different date because that wasn't going to work out. So, and I think it's. It's important, obviously, to be very transparent and get the facts out there. And so since from the very beginning, it's been a very community-driven process. And, with the task force and the decision that the school board made, and when it comes down to it, when the vote is on May 5th, our communities here will have to, make that decision. So, we want everyone to be well informed.
Thank you. Next are action and discussion items. First off, we have a grant for Eagle View from the New Prague Area Education Foundation. We need to accept their donation of a guided reading set of books worth a grant worth $2,145 for Eagle View.
For a resolution or just
Um,
a
So
motion?
for the
it's-
Education Foundation, we can
Okay,
just
that's
make a
right, don't
motion.
need- I'll
to-
make the motion then to approve that
Yeah,
grant.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have a designation for him to be identified official with authority. You have some
Yeah,
explanation of that.
Yeah, can you,
Some new
Give it to 'em.
rule, apparently.
It's a requirement from the Minnesota Department of Education. So I didn't come up with this idea.
Or the spelling.
and if we don't give you the authority, we have to give somebody else in the school district?
You
Would
can
that
always
be-
bring Larry back.
Okay. Okay, I can make that motion to approve Tim as our official authority, and it's Iowa MDA, IOWA, and not the state.
Not the state.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have a resolution to accept a donation from Safety Signs to the New Prague High School First Robotics Team.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution to accept a gift from Safety Signs.
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to consider this resolution, whereas the New Prague Area School Board has established a policy concerning the acceptance of gifts to the school district, whereas the policy states that the school board may receive for the benefit of the school district request donations, grants of gifts for any proper purpose, that the school board shall have the sole authority to determine whether any gift with a value of $1,000 or more, or any precondition, condition, or limitation on use included in a proposed gift with a value of $1,000 or more, furthers the interests or benefits the school district and whether it should be accepted or rejected, whereas the school board may accept a gift valued at $1,000 or more only by adoption of a resolution of 2/3 of its members, whereas Safety Signs wishes to donate $3,000 to the New Prague High School first robotics team. How do you vote on that, Don?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Kitten?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Dennis? Yes, item passes.
Next, Sandy has some memorandums of understanding.
Yes, thank you. We have two memorandums of understanding to be approved tonight for the Teacher New Prague Area Education Association. The first deals with staff development and structure pay for classes they teach outside of the regular duty day. Our contract currently calls for pay of $67.50 per class hour if the class is given during their duty time. And we are proposing, and the union has agreed, at $100 per class hour for staff development classes taught outside of the duty day, such as evenings and Saturdays. The second one relates to the change at the high school from the 5-period day to the 7-period day. Right now in our contract, it says that if you teach a class during your prep hour, you get 1/6 pay extra for doing that. We have, however, 3 teachers this year so far that have taught during their duty hour, like their study hall or lunch supervision time. And so we've been working with the union and have agreed that we should pay 75% of 1/6 pay because it's not the same as giving up their prep time. So we plan to sign these MOUs right now and then get that into the contract during negotiations, which will start shortly.
Is this considered precedent setting?
Definitely.
I mean, we are changing the contract, kind of, aren't?
Well, an MOU is an attachment onto the contract. It's not part of the contract,
Right.
but during negotiations, we will look at adding it.
Yeah, and last year during negotiations, it was never brought up from the change.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion, I'll make the motion to approve the MOU understanding.
I'll second the motion.
Further discussion?
It just sounds very reasonable to me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
And that approved both of them, correct, at
Correct.
once? Okay,
Yeah.
very good, thank you.
Finally, we need to talk about the settlement that we talked about in the closed session. So we need a motion to authorize our attorney, Jay Squires, to execute the stipulation on the award settlement that he has discussed with the attorneys involved.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Who wants to make the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Tammy,
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn the meeting at 7:04.